but we might have took it too far. Don't ever question if it's love, you know I got you if you do. It's so much easier to run with the traumas wherever you are. Can't afford to point the finger, should probably tend to my own flaws. Go. With what little pride I can salvage, I just pick up and go. Trying to see me your heart, you went straight for the throat. Know you fronted the bill, but now we divvy the quote. That's time spent with nothing to show. Hard to stomach, I know. Manipulation we didn't need to deploy. But you playing with my vision like you think it's... Hello, everyone. So this is quite interesting because, yes, we are live right the moment, and this is not supposed to be live as in me with me, you guys seeing me, but it was supposed to be you guys seeing the PowerPoint. But I'm not sure what's happening with the PowerPoint, with the Facebook Live, but it won't let me show my PowerPoint. So I'm hoping that you guys are okay with this one for now. And I'll send you guys the PowerPoint later on. So we'll just go ahead and do it this way for the meantime. So as you can see, I'm just wearing a white shirt because this is not really the intention. So it's only 5:30 in the morning here, so I'm not ready. I'm not really ready yet to go out and go to my office. Okay, so nonetheless, let's just go ahead and start since I value your time and your effort in joining us. So here we go. So my name is Israel Roman. I am a licensed immigration consultant and at the same time practicing registered nurse here in Canada. And we have our offices. Our local office is in Nanaimo here in British Columbia, and in the Philippines it would be in Batangas City, but Lipa City, Batangas. There you go. Okay, so what's new about the open? No, sorry. What's new about the caregiver program? Okay, so this one, the new caregiver program started a year ago in June of 2019. So what's new would be when you apply for your caregiver work permit or your work when the caregiver comes to Canada, the caregiver is essentially applying for an open work permit. And this open work permit is it is a occupation restricted but not employer, meaning to say you are able to change employer if you have to without applying for another work permit. But you have to stay within that occupation. So as a nanny, you have to stay as a nanny, or if it's for home support or a caregiver for elderly, you have to stay there. And it doesn't need the LMIA, which is before it was a requirement for employers when they want to hire foreign workers. So that's good for the employers, right? And that's good for caregivers as well because now there are now more employers looking for caregivers, and they're now okay of like looking for hiring foreign workers because there's no need for them to apply for that LMIA. The other one is when you apply for your work permit, you would also need to apply for your permanent residency. So this is done initially, all right, right at the start. Unlike before, you do it later on. Now, you do it at the same time you submit your work permit. So you're applying for work permit and permanent residency. Okay. So once you get approved, tech, uh, once you get approved, you can say that you are also 99% approved for your permanent residency. That 1%, that would be completing your 2 years of employment, and then that's it. They don't need to review your background, your your medical history and everything else because they've done that one on your initial application. Any questions so far? And again, I apologize. This is supposed to be a PowerPoint presentation so that you guys don't, so that you see the PowerPoint and not me. Because as you can see, I'm not really prepared to show myself. I'm just wearing a white shirt, but this is live, so let's continue on. The show must go on, right? So yeah. So eligibility. Am I eligible? Can I take advantage of this new program, caregiver program, wherein I would have an open work permit and permanent residency. So eligibility would be you need to have a genuine valid offer. Okay, when we say genuine and valid job offer, the employer needs to provide a full-time employment at least 30 hours per week. And of course, we have to also check if that employer is able to financially able to support the family at the same time pay the salary of the caregiver or nanny. Next would be, are you able to do the job? Just checking if there's any. Okay. Sir, nag-email po ako sa inyo kasi may nag-reply sa akin kaso ibang email. Sabi pa-send ako sa assessment. Yes, that would be still coming from our office. So you are good. And thanks for checking. You never know, right? So yeah, so eligibility. So second eligibility would be, are you able to do the job? Yes. So this one, you'll need to show your recent caregiver course, your training, or something equivalent. So if you are an RN, or if you finished nursing degree, a nursing course, then that would be equivalent, right? So it has to be recent caregiving course or training or equivalent. So that would be in the last 5 years. So the eligibility criteria, so the genuine and valid job offer and able to do the job, those are for your work permit. Now, for your permanent residency, you need to meet the language level, which is CLB 5. So this one, CLB 5 would be for Ielts. You only need reading of 4.0 and then 5.0 in listening, writing, and speaking. And so the score is not that high. And I think, yeah, it's not that high, unlike if you're applying for a study permit, right? So I'm hoping that everyone would be able to meet this score. But if you're having some challenges in meeting this score because of anxiety in taking the exam and whatnot, we'll tell you later on how we can help you, right? So the fourth one would be education requirement. So aside from the caregiving course training or the education requirement would be 1 year post-secondary or first year college. So an example that we usually have is let's say if you're from the Philippines and you didn't you were not part of that K-1 to 12 curriculum, and then you did have a 2-year associate degree, what would happen is once they have evaluated your education, what would the result be is your first year college would only be your grade 11, and then your second year would be translated to grade 12. So that's why it is safe to say if you have finished a degree, then it is that one in that scenario that would be a safer bet that you have met the first the education requirement, which is 1 year post-secondary. And the last one is this is for both the open work permit and permanent residency is admissible to Canada. So no criminal offense or history or misrepresentation. Misrepresentation could be you've applied for a visa before, and then in the application you were not truthful, or you didn't include your spouse or your brother or your children. That is a misrepresentation. Sir, gaano kalaki chance ang male caregiver? Lalaki kasi ako, nurse graduate, RN. Kaso madami ako nakakausap na mas preferred ang babae as caregiver. So yeah, so those are myth because that's one of the myth. I mean, like, yeah, mostly there are female caregivers, but mostly there are female nurses as well. Mostly generally there are female caregivers, right? So in that principle or theory, then yes, you'll see more female caregivers because there's more of them, right? But it doesn't mean though that employers here choose female caregivers only. We have employers here, sometimes they would prefer a male caregiver because they're not comfortable having a female caregiver. So yeah, so male caregivers are very much welcome. There are employers here looking specifically for male caregivers. So, what happens to the spouse and dependent child? Am I leaving them or are they coming with me? So in the new program, if you have a spouse or dependent child or children, they would be coming with you initially, all right? Or the first or right at the start, they will come with you. So when you submit your open work permit and permanent residency, you are also submitting application for your spouse and your children. So once you're approved, they are approved as well. But if they are inadmissible, if they have some criminal offense, then the entire application, including you, would also be refused at that time. So your spouse will come here as with open work permit and with no restriction. This is the usual open work permit. So no occupation restriction and employee restriction. Your spouse can work anywhere as long as he or she is qualified to do the job. And your child would be study permit and come here and study. And here in Canada, we have free education up to grade 12. So again, spouse will come here as an open work permit, no restriction, employer and occupation. And for your child study permit to and study from and free education would be grade 1 to 12. So employer, that's the biggest question is that are we giving the caregiver, are we giving the applicants an employer? We are not a recruitment agency, and that is why we are not registered with POEA in the Philippines. If you guys are wondering why are we not registered in POEA, and that is the reason why. We are not a recruitment agency. We are a Canadian immigration consultancy firm, and we don't need to be registered with POEA to conduct our business. That is why we don't have a license with POEA. Now, when it comes to the employer, then, so yes, so since we are not a recruitment agency, we are yeah, the responsibility of acquiring an employer would be on the applicant. So it is your responsibility to get your employer. But but when you join our team, we'll let you know how we are able to help you land an employer, right? So we will still be there, but we are not a recruitment agency, but we still have the capacity to get you an employer as an immigration consultant here. If you have any relatives that needs nanny or caregiver, then yes, they can act, they can sponsor you as their caregiver for as a nanny or caregiver for their elderly parents or elderly individual, right? So relative that has children, they can sponsor you and be their employer and be your employer, I mean, and relatives that have elderly parents or elderly individual, they can also sponsor you and to be your employer as well. Okay. So, what is then the advantage of joining our team or joining us, right? So, if you're saying that we are not a recruitment agency, so what's the point of joining us? So, since we are an immigration firm, for the open work permit and permanent residency application, there is such thing as consultant's fee or retainer's fee. So with this one, we would be able to negotiate this one with the employer so that it's the employer who pays for that one. And in order to be successful in negotiating this one, we are slashing our consultant's fee to 50% off, right? So rather than the employer paying 100%, they would only pay 50%. That would, yeah, so that's one way of us trying to get you an employer and at the same time negotiate that they pay for your consultant fee. And then there is no additional retainer fee if you have a spouse or children that would come with you. Normally, there will be additional fee because that's additional work, additional application. But for this one, for joining us, there won't be any additional fee for that one. Now, the other one is, remember I told you that one of the requirement is language level, right? And if you are having some anxiety or really exam, you're not great in taking any exam for that matter, we have unlimited IELTS review. So we offer unlimited IELTS review. So, and in this one, you'll learn how to really take the exam. How do you face it with you having anxiety before? How can you now confidently face the IELTS exam, right? So that includes in our by joining us unlimited IELTS review and includes the IELTS exam. So we'll take care of the IELTS exam fee for you. Just checking if there's any comment. Paano kung hindi ko sila isama? Ako lang mag-isa, pwede rin ba yun, sir? Yes, that is possible, but you still need to include them in your application though, initially, right? When you submit your application, for your work permit and permanent residency, you also need to submit their application. So it cannot be just you, but you can leave them for a while and then just have them fly later on. Sir, paano po mag-apply NC2 caregiver po ako? Then I have 2 years experience as first aider. Paano po mag-apply? We'll let you know. You'll see that one later on. Ask ko lang po kayo kung magkano employer sa amin, how long usually waiting. Okay, so again, for the employers, we will help you find employer. We will not be really searching for an employer for you particularly. So what happens is, so I think I'll have that one later on in our slides. Okay, so no, or this slide right here. So I'll let you know. So advantages. So aside from the 50% retainer fee, 50% off of the retainer fee, yeah, and no additional retainer fee for your spouse and dependents, unlimited IELTS review. We'll take care of your IELTS exam. We will also be representing you to our Canadian employers. All right. So our presence here in Canada is an advantage for you because we will be here. We are here in Canada representing you. We are able to talk to employers, unlike agencies in the Philippines wherein they don't have connection here, right? Or they don't have ties in Canada to really talk to the employers, all right? So with that one, you really have to rely on online search, which is hard, right? So so we will represent you to our Canadian employers. We use our website to post your profile. We use our social media platform to socialize your profile as well. But if you don't like to your profile to be up on this website or social media page, then you just let us know, and we won't post that one. Networking. So since we are here in Canada, and at the same time with me being able being at the same time with me working as a registered nurse, I'm able to network with patients and clients who are looking for caregivers, right? So I have that first-hand connection. I know they know I would know who are the patients that are needing some help. And so yeah, so with that one, that's how that's one way of us getting our employers. And at the same time, we also have our recruitment agency based here in Canada. Just to be clear, recruitment agency based here in Canada, but not in the Philippines, right? So we have our Home is Best Caregiver Services. So that's our recruitment agency here, wherein we cater Canadian employers looking for caregivers such as you, right? So that is our recruitment agency here. So we have the Roman Associates Immigration, which is our immigration consultancy, and in partner with Homeless Best Caregiver Recruitment or Employment Agency, which is based here. That's why we have employers coming to our office, Home is Best Caregiver, looking for caregivers such as you. So normally in our PowerPoint slide, I would show you our credentials, but I won't be able to show this one because technical difficulties. But I was hoping that if I show you guys this one, this would give you some tools on how to know really if the immigration consultant you are working with is licensed, right? So, okay, how would I do that? Yeah, it's going to be hard to do that. but maybe I can just type it here. Hold on, okay. Okay. So every all of the licensed Canadian immigration consultant, we have to be licensed under that our governing body, which is the ICCRC, right? And that's I put the link on the comment section. So you just type in there, you just go to that site, and down below, public register, you can type and then you can search last name Roman, first name Israel, and then hit search, and then you'll see that I am an active consultant. So that's the same thing, that's the same way of you guys checking if you're already working with someone and they're giving advices on immigration, they should be licensed with ICCRC. They are not supposed to be giving you advice if they're not licensed with ICCRC, right? So not unless they are your family member. Other than that one, they're not supposed to be giving you advice, even if it's a free advice. Okay, and then once you check that site right there, you can also, and then they say that they have an agent, they have a company here in Canada. You can also check that one if they are really an existing company. And you can do that one by going to this site right here and just search. Just type in their company name and then you'll be able to search if that company is still valid or active or not existence or yeah. So there you go. And then you can also, so I did tell you guys that our recruitment agency is Home is Best. So you can go to Home is Best caregiver.ca. That is our other, that's our recruitment agency here. And the other platform that we have to connect our employers with nannies or caregivers is the nannies on the block.ca. So that's also one of our platform here. Now, if you guys are thinking who is this Israel Roman that's presenting at the moment, you can always search for me in Google if you guys want to. And so just Google search and you can type in my name, Israel Roman Nanaimo, and you'll see some you'll you'll see some pictures of me there, I think. And you'll see my name there. You can go ahead and search for it. And then now as you can reference check with the face that you're seeing right now in this live and the things that you see in Facebook. I mean not Facebook, sorry, in Google. When you search Israel Roman Nanaimo, then you'll know, right? Or you'll see. There you go. Let's go back to our slides. Again, I apologize that you guys are not seeing the slides, but I will go ahead and send this PowerPoint to you guys. So if you can just, if you did not register and fill out the Google form, please leave your email address on the comment section and then I will send the PowerPoint to you guys. Right. Next is, or actually, hold on. I'll send a PDF right now to the comment section and maybe you guys are able to look at it while I'm presenting, right? So that you can go ahead and follow. Hold on. Where's that one? And then I'll just tell you. Let me see if I can do it. Maybe not. Sorry, I can't do it as well on that one. I can't I can't add it in the comment section. Anyways, okay. So moving along. So how much does a caregiver and nanny earn? Okay. So a caregiver or the one that looks after elderly, their median wage, Canadian median wage right now is $16.50. So again, that is $16.50. For a nanny, the average wage at the moment is $14.11. So there's a difference. $2, almost more than $2 difference, but 14.11 is not bad, right? So how much really is 14.11 or $14.11 in Philippine peso? Okay, so let's get the math going. So 14.11 times 40 hours per week, that would give you $564 per week. If you're working every week, every day, every week, not 5 days a week, for 4 weeks, that would be 2,256 per month. So in a year, 12 months, so that would give you 27,072. So again, for a year, if you are working full time, $14.11 for a year, you'll be earning $27,000.72. So if we convert that one to Philippine peso, so 35 peso per $1 would be, that would give you close to a million peso for a year. To be exact, you'll be earning 947,520 Philippine peso. So that's almost a year for working as a nanny here in Canada. So not bad. Now, this is only you. What if you have a spouse here, right? As well. So your spouse is also working 40 hours a week. And you can kind of like gauge it if your spouse is also earning close to $14, then his salary would be close to yours as well, which is 947,000. What if he is earning more than $14, right? So there you go. So two adults working full time, not bad at all. So everything everything in life right now, there's nothing for free, right? So there's an investment that you'll have to put out for this one, right? Because we cannot be working for free as well, right? I won't survive. Our company won't survive that way. So I have to pay my staff as well and all of those things, right? So, and I see this one as an investment on yourself, right? Unlike an investment on a business or a online product we're in. So investment on you, wherein the return of investment would be dependent on you. You have control over that one. If you're working full-time hours, then your return of investment will be quicker. But if you don't work full-time, you only work part-time, then obviously return of investment would be longer, right? Or you're earning money, you won't be earning as much money as if you're working full-time. That's what I mean by you have control over that one, your investment. While if you're investing in a business online and all of those things, No offense to the online business right now, or wherein you invest on the product and then you sell the product, right? So you don't know what the consumer really wants, if they would want your product per se, or it is for now they'll buy your product for to test it and then that's it, right? So you don't have any control over that one. It's hard to control the market on that one. That's why I'm saying about the it's a this one would be a great investment because it's an investment on you, not on a product that you don't have control over, right? So we have our once we have checked that you're eligible for this program, for this new program, there is a administration fee of 48,000 pesos. So this 48,000 pesos would include your unlimited Ielts review, your Ielts exam, and the promo of 50% off on the consultant's fee. And then you have your ECA or your education credential assessment, which is, I think at the moment it's 7,000. And then your application for the work permit and open work permit. So those are two things, right? So it's 255 Canadian dollars. And then your permanent residency application would be 550. And then your medical exam would be, I think right now it's between 10 to 15,000 pesos. Biometrics would be $85. And then later on, once you have completed your 2 years of employment, and then you submit your proof that you have completed your 2 years, you would also need to pay 490 Canadian dollars. So in Philippine peso, that would an expense or investment of 110,000 or close to 111,000, right? But again, you're if you're working full time for a year, you'll be earning 947,520. So in 2 months, you already got your return of investment. Your investment has returned to you. And that fee right there, the 255, the 550, the 85, that is only for you. If you have a spouse, then you have to add your spouse. But again, once they come here, your spouse will also be working. So that investment is totally worth it. So what's the process? So there are basically 6 steps. So first step is the eligibility check. So with this one, we would look at your resume and see if you meet the basic requirements. If you do, then you move on to the next step, which is registration or start of the application. And this is where we give you details on how to pay the 48,000 as the administration fee. We won't be doing that one. We won't be asking you to pay 48,000 if we know that you are not eligible, right? We don't want to waste your money and we don't want to waste your time as well. So during that eligibility check, that would be the time wherein we do check your resume and see if you do qualify for that minimum requirement to be a caregiver here in Canada. And then once we have determined that one, then we proceed to the next one. If you are not eligible, then we would say that, obviously, and we won't be collecting your money, any money from you for the administration fee because we won't be accepting you, right? Unfortunately, because we don't want to waste your money, we don't want to waste your time. But we might be able to see if there's any other possibility for you to come to Canada by checking your resume, right? Or your credentials. We'll see because there's other different pathway as well to come here to Canada, right? So and then after that one, it would be your evaluation credential assessment. And then after that would be we prepare your documents. So that would be your application and your supporting documents that you'll need. And then to submit to IRCC or the Immigration Refugee and citizenship of Canada. And then after that one, then fly to Canada. If you're by yourself, then you're by yourself. But if you have a spouse and children, then your spouse, and your children will fly together, come here to Canada. Okay, so what's what are the steps? So only if you are interested to in this program, sorry. So only if you're interested in this program and you think that you qualify for this program and you want to avail of the promo that's this is then you are and these are the steps for you, right? But if you are not interested, then please, of course, I'm hoping that you won't be submitting your resume if you're not interested to be a caregiver, right? Because the only reason why I say that because we are receiving tons of emails, tons of application for this new program, and we just want to make sure that our efforts, our manpower efforts, are directed towards those applicants that are interested really in coming here and they think they qualify to be a caregiver, right? No offense, but yeah, so we just want to dedicate our time to those ones because we have limited resources as well. So we need to prioritize, right? So, but we have a different team that looks after the study permit and other things as well. But for the caregiver, we have a dedicated team for this one. So, yes, please. So, if you didn't register for the for this presentation for this live stream in the Google form, if you didn't fill out any Google form, please write down your email address on the comment section so that I can send you the PowerPoint slides for this one, right? And apologize for this one because yeah, due to technical difficulties, I'm not able to present the PowerPoint. And please submit your resume. Okay, I'll just copy this one. Please submit your resume to assessment at romancanadianimmigration.ca, and then on the subject line so that we know that you are from this live stream and is interested in coming to Canada and you're prepared for it. On the subject line, just put in Caregiver Pathway live stream July, no, not July 26th, sorry, hold on, July 31. There you go. Is it 31? Yes. Okay. So again, so just give your comments. I mean, like, just send your resume to assessment at romancanadianimmigration.ca and with the subject of Caregiver Pathway live stream July 31, 2020, so that we can triage that one, right? And then yeah, so and then also for if you haven't registered for if you didn't fill out the Google form as part of a registration process in attending this live stream, please leave your email on the comment and we'll take a look at that one and we'll submit yeah, and then we'll send you make sure that you do get the presentation as well. All right, so that concludes my presentation for today. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, apologize. Again, this is live, so anything goes live. It's not a recording or whatnot. So yeah. Any questions? Let's go check. How long would it take to finish all the steps? Okay. So once you have submitted your application for work permit and permanent residency because it's two application, and it's because technically once you get approved, you're technically almost a permanent resident. So they have to immigration really needs to look at the application, make sure that there's nothing in your file that makes you inadmissible, right? So with that one, it's taking them at least between 9 to 12 months to process the application. I understand that it's a long time, but it is what it is. That's how long it takes for them to process it, right? So we have no control over that one, unfortunately. Hello, Bernardine. Hello, Lance. Hello, Nero. Hello, Paul. Could you share as well too the email address? Thank you. Hello, Sway guys here. Thank you for submitting your email. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Clea Bayak. Sorry, Bayarkal. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your names incorrectly. I apologize. Jeanette, thank you. Janea, thank you for your email. Keith, thank you for your email. Ano po requirements para sa employer na relative ko po? So, requirement would be, obviously, the relative needs to show that there is the need for a nanny or caregiver. So, dapat kung nanny, dapat may bata, or kung if it's for a caregiver, then there should be an elderly that the caregiver needs to look at, right? Or to look after. And then financial things. So with that one, if you have a relative, I can go ahead and you can send me information about your relative, or I can touch base with your relative directly and talk to them and give them a short and ask and do a short interview so that I can determine if they qualify. But basically, merong aalagaan, so there are children, or there's an elderly, and of course, receiving a income, right? So there you go. May age limit po ba ang caregivers? No, there's no age limit for the caregiver. That's not a requirement. That you don't need to be 18 to 25, right? No, we don't ask for age as long as their only requirement is able to do the job, English exam, English level, and admissible to come to Canada. No health problems, no criminal offense. So those are the requirement. It doesn't include age. Janaea, I have already sent my resume, sir, but I haven't received any feedback. Can you please resend that one and just make sure in the subject line it says Caregiver Pathway live stream July 31st, so that we can prioritize. We can triage that one. Okay. Okay. Initially the payment, sir. So once you are eligible, so that's the first step is the eligibility check, wherein we check your resume, we check your profile. If we determine that you meet the minimum requirement, then you go to the next step, which is the registration or start of the application. And with that, and then on that, you'll be required to pay the 48,000 pesos. That's the administration fee. And with that one, it includes the unlimited Ielts, the Ielts exam, and you're also getting the 50% for the retainer's fee, which we will negotiate with your employer that they shoulder that one, right? So there you go. And then also we'll let you know where to submit or where to deposit the payment as well. All right. So yeah. Morning, Mochi. Okay. Given that I have already passed the assessment for the caregiver programs and have already taken the Ielts and completed ECA, what would be the next step? So I have to look at your file, Mochi, to see where you're at, and yeah, directly communicate with you. You can private message us so that we can reply to your question directly as well. Do you have hiring for housekeeping? Sorry, but don't. We don't have any. We don't hire housekeeping at the moment, and I don't think it will be anytime soon or in any foreseeable future because an employ an employer looking for a foreign worker will need to ask permission from the government if they can hire a foreign worker. And if they ask permission that I want to hire a foreign worker for housekeeping, the government would say there's a lot of people in Canada that can do that job. So no need to hire a foreign worker. But the government of Canada knows that there's a lack in caregivers here. That's why they don't need to ask permission because they already know that there's a deficiency or there's a lack of caregivers here. So there you go. I do have Ielts academics, sir. Need po ba to take uli ng general exam? That is from Jen. Unfortunately, Jen, yes, you have to take the general exam, the general Ielts. And I'm thinking if you did take the Ielts academic, which is harder than general, taking the general and getting the score you need won't be a problem. I know it's additional expense, but again, that's another thing that we don't have any control over because that is what I see our immigration refugee citizenship of Canada requires, which is the general one. Please, can you send your email ad on the comment? Yes, I can do that one. I'll just copy and paste. It's already up here. So yeah, so that's the email address if you are submitting your resume for us to check your eligibility. No, and that is after you looking at knowing that you meet the minimum requirements, then yes. And at the same also on the subject line, please type in caregiver, pathway, live, no, sorry, not live, live stream July 31st, 2020. Home base lang po ba yung caregiver application? Meron po bang institutional base? Unfortunately, the caregiver program is meant for family as the employer. It cannot be a company. So let's say what you're saying is an institutional base, let's say a facility or a long-term care, or like say like a home for the aged in the Philippines kind of thing. But here in Canada, no, it won't be for they won't be able to hire caregivers. That company right there won't be able to hire caregivers because caregivers is meant for a family. So if the institution wants to hire foreign workers, then they have to go through the usual process of LMIA. So asking the government to give them permission to hire foreign workers, and it won't be a caregiver. It would be other role or other job description, other job title, and it won't go with the under the Caregiver Program. So you'll be coming here, if ever, as a temporary foreign worker, and then go back home after the term is finished, which is you can only stay here 4 years at a time. Any other questions? Again, I apologize that there's no PowerPoint during the presentation and that it's only my face that you guys are seeing on a white shirt. I didn't plan for this one. And so, yeah. So it's only 6:25 a.m. here. I intended to start 5 a.m. That's why I am on my white shirt. Okay. I think that's about it. Again, I would like to say thank you, everyone, and apologize that there's no PowerPoint. Will you do live about immigration for nurses also? Yes. When is that? Tomorrow, 8 p.m. your time. So Saturday, 8 p.m. your time. That would be for nurses. How to come here? So with this one would be how would it would be for nurses. How can they come to Canada and work as a nurse and immigrate as a nurse? So there you go. So that would be for tomorrow, Saturday, 8 p.m. your time. So if you can please share that one to your nursing friends that would love to come to Canada and work as an RN and immigrate as an RN, please let them know that there is a live stream for that one tomorrow, Saturday, 8 p.m. Is there a possibility if we get hired to apply for permanent residency? Yes. So that is the new program we're in for caregivers. When you apply for your work permit, you are also applying for your permanent residency. So you have to be approved for both the open work permit and permanent residency before coming to Canada. You cannot be approved for only one. You need to be approved for both. So essentially, when you're here, you are technically almost a permanent resident. The only one more requirement to submit would be later on after 2 years. It's just to prove that you have really worked for 2 years as a caregiver. That's about it. They won't do the background check at that time because they already did initially when you applied for your work permit. Sorry. Hello, Ritzel. Bachelor's degree po ako at may training course sa caregiver at completed na sa ECA. That is great. So, if you are real interested and yeah, if you're interested, please submit your resume and and don't forget to say those details again in your email. So assessment at romancanadianimmigration.ca. Please submit your resume on that email address. Assessment at romancanadianimmigration.ca. Thank you, Lance, for the email address. Hello, Alan. Can I watch this video again, sir? Because I don't have a good Wi-Fi right now and I wasn't able to watch everything. Definitely, you are able to watch this video again and it will be on our Facebook page. It would be under our video. I mean, it's not my intent to have to go live with my face on it, but it is what it is. You know that I'm real. You can see me. There you go. Yes, so you can watch it again. Opinion, sir. Yes. What would be the easy access to come over in Canada as a caregiver or nurse? I would say if you have enough money to invest on yourself and really want to end up as an RN here in Canada, I would go by to come here as a nurse and not as a caregiver. Now, the reason why I say that is because if you come here, if you're a nurse and you come here as a caregiver, by the time you apply for your license as a nurse, there might be a lapse of time. And on that lapse of time, it might be when the College of Nurses evaluates your credential, they would say because you haven't practiced for so long, you'll have to take the entire course again. So if you really want to come here and work as an RN, and that's the easy and as well that is easier than coming here as a caregiver, right? Between those two, nurses, and I'll tell you tomorrow on our live stream how to. There'll be more investment, but the return of investment would be quicker and the income definitely would be higher, right? So, Chea, no, not Chea, sorry, Clea Bayarkal. Thank you. Yep, you are very much welcome and keep safe. Yep, and keep safe as well. Make sure you guys are staying safe. Maintain that 6 feet distance. If you guys are not able to maintain that 6 feet distance, wear your mask, right? So avoid big gatherings, especially not knowing who those people will be or who those people who you'll be meeting in those gatherings. You don't know where they've been. And again, COVID, it's again someone can be asymptomatic, so you might be with someone that you don't know that they are carrying the virus. They even don't know that they are carrying the virus, right? And then once that one's passed on to you, but your body reacts to that one, and now you are symptomatic. So, yeah, so just make sure to keep safe. Maintain that 6 feet distance. If not able to, then wear your mask, right? My nephew asked if she qualified if her experience lasts 7 years now. Unfortunately, if it's that long, it won't be considered as recent. So you might have the credentials, but what you can do now is try to find some way of trying to get that experience, right? So, Stephanie, you are very much welcome. Jenaline, welcome as well. Ritzel, pwede po bang mag-message kasi marami po akong katanungan. Of course, you can always message me directly if you want. Yes, we can also do WhatsApp phone call if you want, or Viber, or yeah, there you go. That's my number. So you can go ahead and connect with me during WhatsApp, via WhatsApp, I mean, and Viber, right? So just make sure if I don't respond right away, or we don't respond right away, especially the people that will be answering would be here in Canada, there's a time difference, right? So you might be answering while we are sleeping, or I mean, like you might be messaging us while we are sleeping. That's why we're not able to answer right away. So yeah. So like right now it is 6:35 a.m. In a few minutes from now, I'll be getting ready for work for my daytime job while you guys will be sleeping. Okay. Any other questions? For those who just joined us, thank you for joining. Sorry you missed the entire live show, but not live show, live stream. Sorry, not live show. There's no show, just live stream. Pretty sure if there was a live show, there won't be any audience right now. So it's live stream. Sorry, and yeah, sorry you missed the live stream, but we will send you the PowerPoint or the PDF file for this one so that you can go ahead and review it, read it, go back to it, and make a sound decision if you want to proceed or not. But please leave your email address if you haven't filled out the Google form so that we can go ahead and send it to you. Sezi, thanks. I'll watch tomorrow for the nurse immigration program, please. Question: do you still require police clearance for those who had worked in Middle East? That would be a yes. And it won't be me asking for it. It would be the IRCC. But we can cross that bridge when we get there, right? So that would be the easiest, one of the easiest part. I know it's not easy, but yeah, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. But generally, if you have been living outside of, if you, for all the countries that you have lived for more than 6 months in the last 10 years, you need police clearance on those countries. And there's a way of how to get it. Immigration, refugee, citizenship, Canada, there's instructions on how to get it for that particular country. Hello, Jackson. Yes, just joined. All right. I guess that's it for me. If I don't see, yes. Again, thank you, everyone. Don't forget, if you think, if you know that you are eligible, if you meet all the requirements for the new caregiver program, please submit your resume to assessment at Roman Canadian Immigration.ca, and just make sure the subject title would be Caregiver Pathway Live Stream July 26th. All right. Again, thank you, everyone. Reminder tomorrow, live stream on about nurses, how to come to Canada and work as a nurse and immigrate as a nurse. And hopefully tomorrow I can share the PowerPoint and not my face. Sir, do I need to get all police clearance from the countries that I've been to before coming to Canada as a caregiver? Yes, Mochi, that is correct. Yes, you have to, because that is part of the requirement for permanent residency, right? So all of the countries that you have indicated in your application form that you have been to and stayed for more than 6 months, you'll have to the IRCC would require you to have a police clearance, submit a police clearance. But yeah, okay, all right. So If you guys are in the Philippines or in that time zone, good evening and good night. Stay safe, stay well. See you again.